Welcome to another episode of Talking Football with T. And listen, we made it through week one football. And when I say what a week, what a week. Okay, there were about 3 or 4 games that I was just like, what is happening? Why is it so close? Who's gonna pull it off? It was crazy. So like I said, there were about 3 or 4 games that I was literally on the edge of my seat watching them. While we're here, shout out to YouTube TV, shout out to NFL Red Zone. Without you, none of this would be possible because I would be stuck watching whatever on Fox and CBS. But anyway, back to the football. Let's start off with the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I am pretty sure Atlanta thought they had this one. They were at home. They were up. Penix was out there doing his thing. Congratulations, sir. Good job. Until Bake showed up. You hear what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield. Let's go. He showed up. When I tell you, I am so proud of Emeka Egbuka because it was his first NFL football game. He scored the game-winning touchdown. Didn't seem like he had, any first game jitters or anything like that. It was a good game. It was so good. Next game that kind of threw me for a loop was a NFC showdown. It was the Lions and Green Bay. Now, I know I told y'all that the Lions were going to go in there and take care of the pack. I'm sorry. I couldn't predict that. I couldn't predict that was going to happen. I was just not prepared for Green Bay. They came out throwing the ball. They came out catching the ball. But the star of the show was the defense. Now, I feel like Jordan, he doing good. These first few games, he got a little pep in his step. However, I have no faith in him. I do not think he's a real quarterback, but that's just a whole other conversation. But when I tell you the Green Bay defense, that scared me a little bit as a fan of a different team that has to play them. I was a little scared. However, the star there was Micah Parsons. Oh, the chase down touchdown. The chase down tackle. I see you, Micah. They made a good trade. They picked up a good player. Next up, you already know, it's the Ravens and the Bills. Am I the only one that just felt like that playoff energy? That game was crazy. And Lamar, I'm a little disappointed because regular season is when we take care of the Bills. And I'm not trying to be funny. We all know that Lamar during the regular season, he usually but when I tell Keon Coleman was out there catching, Josh Allen was running all up. The Bills showed up and showed out. They came out on top. Maybe they excited about, their new stadium starting to come together. Maybe. I don't know what it is, but they look doggone good. And the last game I'm going to talk about from week one is Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to say this. I am very proud of how my Chicago Bears played in the first half. I'm going to focus on the first half right now. Caleb, I will say, looked better overall. Last season, if he would have got blitzed 20 times like that last season, we would have seen way more sacks than the sacks we saw on Monday. I don't think we saw that many. So he's learning how to move. He's learning how to figure out where his targets are. Like that pass he threw to Rome, perfect. But obviously, there's room for improvement. The person that I am most upset with is not Caleb. It's not DJ. It's not Rome. It's not even Ben Johnson. Mr. Cairo Santos, get in the gym or the field or whatever and start kicking, because how are we missing field goals? How we can't get the ball out of bounds? So we're gonna keep it moving. Next week we have the Lions. That might be a silver lining, Ben Johnson going back to his former team, and they look terrible in week one. So Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's get into these picks for week 2. Now, I made a mistake last week and missed a few games, so that's not going to happen this week. Yes, I'm going to look at the camera, but I'm going to keep my phone right here. So I'm going to start out with the Packers and the Commanders. Thursday night football. The spread favors the Packers by 3.5. I don't need my phone for this. I don't want the Packers to win. We're going with the Commanders. I don't really want them to win either. They on my list too. I haven't forgiven them for last season. However, I do feel like the Commanders are a well-rounded team, and they should be able to hold the Pack down. However, as I mentioned, the Pack's defense is kind of crazy. So let's see what Micah has in store. So I know this next game is an afternoon game, and I typically give y'all the 12 o'clock games first, but I got to get into it. This is a Super Bowl rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Now, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the Chiefs are not the same team as last season. They are not playing well. They're not meshing. It's something that just doesn't look right with the Chiefs. I can't quite put my finger on it. Mahomes, they have been, on this Super Bowl streak. Maybe they tied. Maybe they need a little help. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. The spread is 1.5. You never know when it's 1.5, but I know that the Eagles are the better team. All right, let's talk about Cowboys Giants. Now, this past week, I really don't know what Jerry Jones put in that documentary about the Cowboys, but a piece of me was like, okay, I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Rooting for the Cowboys? Let me get it together. This week they're playing against the Giants. The Cowboys are favored by 5.5, which I can kind of see. Russell Wilson did not show us anything. And I tweeted this, but honestly, you know how Deion played 3 quarterbacks Saturday with Colorado? I feel like that's what the Giants need to do with the 2-star quarterbacks they have. You got Jameis Winston and you got Russell Wilson. Shake it up. Show these people something different. People won't know what to do. So if maybe they can figure it out if they try something different. I'm no offensive coordinator, but I think that would keep people like a little shaken up. Anyway, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. All right. Bears, Lions in Detroit. Listen, I'm gonna go Bears. Bear down. And that's all I gotta say about that. Fight me if you want to. I don't really care. The comments are right there. You can say whatever you want to say, but I'm going Bears. Okay, so the next game is Seahawks at the Steelers. I feel like the Steelers got this one. That's the one game I didn't talk about from week 1. Listen, those guys played a game. And old man Rodgers, yeah. So the Steelers are favored by 2.5. And on some sites it's 3. I think they got that for sure. There's no question about it. The Seahawks their offense just looked underwhelming. Like there was nothing to see here. So I'm going to lean on the Steelers. I feel like we're going to get a lot of rushing yards. I feel like there might be some defensive plays. So I think this will be a good game to watch, but I feel like the Steelers are going to massacre the Seahawks. Okay, let's talk Bills and Jets in New York. Okay, I'm going to sit up straight because Justin Fields, he played such a good game. Such a good game on Sunday. I was very, very proud of Justin Fields. I was very sad that he did not win the game on Sunday. However, I don't think he's going to win this one either. He's playing the Buffalo Bills, and we just saw what they're capable of. So let's be so for real. The Bills got this. The spread is 7. Take that. It might be that and then some. Trust me, they're going to cover. All right, Bengals and Jaguars in Cincinnati. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I feel like the Jaguars still got a little bit to work out. It was cool to see Travis, on both sides of the field. That was kind of cool. We don't really see that too often now in the NFL, but let's see how it plays out because there wasn't like a star play or anything crazy. So let's just continue to monitor the situation. But as I mentioned, I think the Bengals are going to win. I think Jamar is going to get a touchdown this week because he did not get one this week. Messed up my parlay. But anyway, that's what I got. Okay, games I don't care about. Broncos and Colts. Here in Indianapolis, I'm going to give it to the Colts. Bo, Nix, Poe, baby. All right, let's get into Patriots and Dolphins. I'm going to go Patriots. I feel like they have more scores. I think that Tua turn the ball over is likely to turn the ball over. I actually think this is going to be a close game, but I think it's going to be a low scoring game. So I don't know. I might call this a snooze fest, but I'm going to give the Patriots a little bit more credit than that. We got 49ers and the Saints. I'm going to go 49ers. I think McCaffrey, despite all the injuries and stuff, I think that's their guy. They're going to stick with him. So let's kind of see what happens there. But I'm definitely going to go 49ers over the Saints. All right. Rams, Titans. Is there a question? There's not. There really isn't. Obviously, the Rams are favored to win. I think that Stafford is going to have a great game. You know who my favorite receiver of his is? And I'm going to mess his name up, but Nakua. That's the man's right there. Their defense is also looking really good. So I'm sorry, Titans. I'm sorry, Cam Ward. Sorry. Another game I don't care about. Panthers, Cardinals. I'm going to go Cardinals. The Panthers, there's just no offense there. So low scoring. Under. Browns, Ravens. Now, we talked about the Browns last week. We haven't seen a quarterback change in all this week. So they're probably going to lean on who they have starting. That's why they're going to lose the game. Lamar, this is your game. Come show them what you got. This week, we have 2, count them, 1, 2 Monday Night Football games. A bit excessive for Monday night, if you ask me. I need my beauty rest. So having 2 games on a Monday night is just a little stressful. So let's start with the first one. The Bucks and the Texans. I think it's kind of a toss-up. I think it can go either way. But what I saw from Bake makes me have more faith in Tampa Bay than the Texans because I just wasn't impressed by CJ. Like CJ just did not carry the team. I just wasn't there Sunday. So I think it's going to be a toss-up. I think it's going to be a close game. So I'm not going to give you over under any of that, but I just feel like it's going to be tight. Last and certainly not least are the Chargers and the Raiders. Now, the Raiders did win despite me saying they, aren't the best team. But the Chargers do seem to be a better team this year. Keenan Allen, my boy, where was you at? Anyway, Keenan Allen is back. They have their confidence back. They looked good on week 1. I'm going to go Chargers. Okay, so let's talk about a few bets, okay? I know what you're here for. I know what you're going to do. All right, so let's talk about some unders. I think the Steelers game might be an under. It's kind of up in the air. I also feel like the Bears-Lions is definitely going to be an under. I don't see that being over. If it is, great. Then the Colts game, under Ruski. Please believe. Let's talk passing yards. Talk about some QBs that I think are going to go over. I think Dak got it. I think he's going to go over with his passing yardage this week. The Bengals, I definitely think Joe Burrow, I think he's going to have a great game. And that's about it because the other one I wrote down because I did my research was the Packers. But I don't like Jordan Love, so I'm not going to tell you to bet on him. All right, that's it. That's Talking Football with T. You got my little picks on who I think is going to win the game. You got a few prop bets out there. I hope you're enjoying Talking Football with T. If you are, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know you like it, and I'll talk to y'all next week.